welcome back to the Metals Investment Forum. It's my great pleasure to welcome Canter Resource, the CEO, Jonas. Welcome, Jonas.
Thank you, Chen. Thank you for having me.
All right, great. You are the new IPO, new star. Tell us a little bit history about this exciting new project. You seem to have own a basin in Nevada, one of the richest lithium-boron resource in the world.
Yeah, so this company came together during Q4 last year. I joined as CEO in Q4 as well. The project comes from a very notable group of prospectors, a family that's been targeting lithium and other critical metals in Nevada, particularly for about 15 years now. This basin in particular is very unique. It's a hydrologically and structurally closed basin. For the layman investor, that just means that the surrounding volcanic source rocks that have been feeding minerals into this basin over 23 million years, those minerals have had nowhere to escape except through evaporation. So in general, this basin has acted as a sponge, so to speak. It has a history of boron production. Back in the late 1800s, the Columbus Basin hosted a thriving town with a local post office and a newspaper called the Borax Miner once upon a time. So again, there's been production here of boron. That's a commodity that we're very keen on as well. Like lithium, think it's got a huge role to play in our future. And as a contrarian perspective, a very interesting time to be looking at lithium, I believe. But boron is something I think investors will become more and more familiar with as it moves onto the USGS critical list next year. We can chat a little bit more about that. But yeah, it's an exciting time, Chen. We've just completed our first drill program with results out relatively soon.
Oh, great. Oh, I'd love to chat a little bit more about boron. And you said it will be the critical metal next year in the US government.
Yeah, we're seeing that it's critical not only to the energy Department of Energy, but it's also really moving up in terms of the Department of Defense being keen on securing domestic supply. The boron market is very interesting in that you have this set of applications that have been around for a long time, right? In the late 1800s, people were washing their clothes with borax. You can still wash your clothes, but you also have these applications for panels on airplanes and rockets. It's used in rocket fuel, tanks, body armor, semiconductors, right? So we've all seen the success of AI and the power needs out there, and semiconductors playing a vital role in chips. Well, boron has just been listed by MIT as the best semiconductor material on the planet. It's already used in semiconductors, but it's, again, we think the applications are just starting to get going here. And the supply is very tightly controlled. You have two companies that currently supply 75% of the world's boron. Rio Tinto being one of them. I'm sure most people are familiar with them. And then Etimaden out of Turkey, a state-owned firm that controls about 45 to 50% of the world's supply. So again, very tight supply. It's rare to find significant economically feasible concentrations of boron. It's everywhere in detection limit, but again, to find the type of concentrations to build a mine, a set of circumstances need to be in place to do so. And we believe we might have just that at Columbus.
Wow, wonderful. And then it's a historical boron mine, so it's right in the USA. Maybe you can get some grant from the government to get started.
That would be a part of the future plan for sure.
Okay, great. So tell us, you're going through a very exciting drilling campaign. Now we're just chatting about you have results coming in weeks, maybe sooner, maybe days.
Yeah, so this program started in late April. We concluded it about 1 week ago. We ended up expanding it from 10 holes to 15. And these are shallow drill holes. When we look at all the 3D modeling information, we can see that the MT data, which measures resistivity and therefore conductivity, that's a really key indicator when you're pursuing a brine. The higher the conductivity, the more demonstrated minerals and salts that are in the fluid that's subsurface. And so we see a really highly conductive shallow layer. So this drilling, this first pass of drilling was targeting that upper brine generating layer in this basin. That anomaly on the project, the core of it stretches for more than 5 by 2 kilometers, so it's a very sizable target. It was open to the west, so we rushed out and staked some additional ground just to make sure we had proper coverage and expanded that drill campaign. So we'll get brine samples, Chen. We'll also get sediment clay samples as well. And again, those results should start to come as early as next week. If not, they're imminent. And we should have results all the way out till the end of June.
Well, good. So once you have the plan, what's the next? You're going to maybe do more drilling or get some money from the government, U.S. government?
No, we're going to do some more drilling. The success of this geoprobe drilling, it's called, exceeded our expectations. I mean, the objective going in was let's get some subsurface sediment clay samples, and hopefully let's get some liquid samples. Let's find water samples, whether that was water seeping into pore spaces that we could sample. We ended up encountering an aquifer at a very shallow depth of roughly 30 meters subsurface that stretches for more than 2 kilometers in strike. So again, that alone was a success. To see that there is aquifers at such a shallow level is very promising. We're hoping to see good boron values, anomalous lithium, potassium in those water samples. Boron is a great indicator for lithium. Where you see boron, you often see significant lithium at greater depths. So again, if we can show good boron values near surface and anomalous lithium, that would be a very encouraging for what we could expect at deeper depths. And then in terms of next phase, we have another model of this rig that can drill to about 2x the depth. So given these holes were spaced by about 400 meters, one of the next phases will come in and extend and drill some infill in those areas where we've had success, hopefully, just to add more data and string everything together for that shallow interval. So that drilling could start as early as June, later in June.
Okay, wow, sounds good. Sounds very good. And also, my understanding is very, very hard to get water in Nevada, and then your company seems to already secure water rights for the future mining.
Yeah, correct. It was critical to us. Any of these projects, especially when you're targeting a brine, in my view, you don't really have a project until you have water secured. So yeah, no, it speaks to our confidence. We like this target a lot. There's historical work out here that shows lithium, boron, and potassium enrichment. And we believe the best target out here had never been tested in the central part of this property. So it's been a lot of work that's gone into making sure those boxes were checked, and having water rights, quite frankly, have value on their own. With or without success, we think we'll have success out here, but the water rights are critical, as you know.
Well, excellent. So we have 1 minute left. Can you just something you want to say for the final words to new investors?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've just transitioned the rest of the team in. So the board of directors and management own just shy of 10%. Very pleased to have Michael Gentili as a strategic investor and advisor as well. He owns roughly 4% of the company as well. So again, generally quite tightly held stock. We've just got going, still have cash in the bank, set to do another follow-up drill campaign. So again, I think it's an exciting time to take a look and an interesting speculation.
Okay, great. Thank you. Looking forward to your drill results.
Thank you, Chen.